tried to put me on the cover of Vogue, but my legs were too long. Every day is like day. Every day is like day. It's been so long since I've talked in front of a camera. I don't know what I'm doing.
What do I do? What do I do?
Greetings, salutations. Welcome back to another video. If this is the first time you're seeing my face, I'm Ruthie. I'm a seamstress and a cosplayer and a writer, and on this channel I document general mayhem, mostly of the cosplay and convention going variety. And it is in this video that I'm going to be creating my Arrietty cosplay. Arrietty has a really special place in my heart, and listen, I know I say this about every time I cosplay a Ghibli girl, but for her, it's true. Arrietty was the first Ghibli movie I ever watched, and she is my mom's favorite also. And my mom gave me the Arrietty hair clip for Christmas with the stipulation that I needed to cosplay her. And obviously, I can't tell my mom no, because she's the best. It's taken me until July to get to it, a whole 7 months. First half of the year was really busy with making my Katniss cosplay, which you can watch me build. It's on this channel too. But now that Katniss is done, I finally have time for my girl Arrietty. This is a build video, so it's not necessarily a tutorial. I'm not good enough to make tutorials. This is just me creating and usually making up everything as I go along. However, if you want to use it as a tutorial, be my guest. Good luck, brave soldier, because I don't even know what I'm doing. Obviously, there's the dress. I'm also going to make her sword and her belt and her little bag, and I want to make her little grappling hook rope thing that she's got. I just think that making all of her things that are oversized is really cute. I'm a yapper, but I'm not going to let myself do that. We're just going to jump into the video. Let's go make a little Arrietty cosplay. Okay? Bye-bye. This is the fabric I used for my dress. It was this tablecloth that I thrifted, and I really liked the texture of it for Arrietty. Fun fact, as I am recording this voiceover, I am wearing the exact same Twilight shirt that I'm wearing when I was making this dress. I didn't have a pattern for this one, so I just laid out a dress of a similar shape and just kind of cut along it, and I just used it as a base pattern for this cosplay. After I cut out one side completely halfway, I flipped it over and used that as a guideline for the other side to ensure that everything was symmetrical. Once that was done, it was time for the sleeves. I just measured the length of the armpit and then doubled that because that would mean that the sleeve would just fit right into place and I wouldn't have to worry about it being too big or too small. I also measured the length of my arm to determine the sleeve length. Then I just took those measurements, slapped them onto the fabric, and just drew out a vaguely sleeve shape. Then I sewed the two tops of the shoulders. Once I saw that that was looking pretty good, I went ahead and sewed the shoulders where the sleeves attach. And I really made sure to go in and make this very, very secure. I did the regular stitch, and then I did a zigzag stitch to make sure it was secure, because this was a tablecloth and not entirely intended for clothing. It did want to fray, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to fall apart on me before I had the chance to wear it. Then I sewed up the side of the dress and the underarm of the sleeves. This is one method for doing sleeves. It's what I prefer because I personally find it easier, but there are other methods of attaching sleeves. Then I cut a line down the back for the zipper, and I hand stitched it in first because I am not very good at doing zippers, and I wanted to make sure everything stayed lined up. And then once I hand sewed that down, it was really easy to just go in with my zipper foot on my machine, sew a nice line. And then I also did a zigzag stitch on the zipper as well, again, just for security reasons, because that was a very high tension area. I didn't want it to come apart. And here I'm just running that zigzag stitch basically along any seam of the dress. Again, just for security reasons, I did not trust this fabric to not come apart on me. This is the collar. I did a zigzag stitch on this, and then I made another little strip of fabric that I would sew down to the outside. Once it was sewed down to the outside, I could flip it over and hide it, and it would give me a really clean seam. Once I got that attached and flipped inside, I just hand sewed it down. I just caught a few of the threads of the base fabric and then stitched through the little strip of fabric here. I don't know the technical name for it, but that just meant it was there, it was secured down, and you really couldn't tell very much from the outside. For the bag, I just cut out vaguely football-shaped things. The white fabric you see is the lining fabric. So I've got the fashion layer, which is what you see on the outside. I've got a layer of that for the outside, a layer of that for the inside, and then the white goes in the middle for security and stability. So the bigger piece is the back of the bag. The two smaller pieces are going to be the outside. They are cut in half so that they can fold over. I also had 3 layers of fabric for the bag strap and the belt as well.
What are you doing?
And this is why he can't be inside while I'm trying to cut things. You're such a goober. You're such a goober. You are. You're a goob. I gotta cut this thing. Look at him. He's so for real. It was a really quick and easy process to just attach all 3 layers together. And then I was able to flip them inside out, or right side out, I guess in this case, and have a really stable bag and belt.
Super.
The rope I got was really, really white, so I wanted to stain it. Normally you would use tea for this for a lighter wash and gentler fabrics and papers, but this rope was very thick, so I used coffee instead, a little coffee stain. After I dunked it in, I took it out pretty much immediately and then rinsed it because I wanted it to be darker instead of the stark white, but I didn't want it to be super dark.
Would anyone like some stew? Would anyone like some stew?
I let them dry in the sun for a couple of hours and then that was it. They were good to go. For the sword, I used a wooden dowel and a foam ball that I hollowed a hole into just with a pair of scissors. And then I coated that foam ball in foam clay. It was really lumpy initially, but I think I did a really, really good job of getting it smoothed down. And if you were to pay really close attention, you would see a little bit of some unevenness, but I am personally very impressed with myself in how smooth I was able to get it. I also whittled down the end of the dowel rod and then gave it a little sand just for a slightly more sharp point, because what she uses as a sword is a sewing pin. I took the sword, the top of the sword, and the button for the bag. I hit everything with a layer or two of primer, and then with at least the sword, I was able to go in, sprayed gray, and then hit it with a little bit of dark gray for some texture to it. I totally forgot to film assembling the bag, so whoopsies, sorry about that. But yeah, I attached it and it looked good. It was able to open up. I feel like it can hold a significant amount for being so small, and I really like how it looks. I hit the button and the top of the sword with a light bright color of paint, red and yellow, and then I went in and added texture and darker paint to give it some variety and some interest. Does that not look just like a lemon? That was cracking me up while I was doing it. I also really like how the button turned out. I think it looks like it's been through some stuff, and it so would have if it was actually her button, so I think it's really cute. I used some embroidery floss to add the big stitches in her bag. I just did 2 passes, and then to secure it all down, I did a third pass, but on the third pass, I stitched down in the middle and caught the threads of the other floss to secure it so that it wasn't lifting up and getting caught on things. Then I just cut and sewed down a hole for the button, so it's a functioning bag. I would now like to present some cursed dinos. Thank you for looking at the cursed dinos. Now we can go to the reveal. Welcome back. Let's wrap this project up. There are some things I really liked about this project. There are some things that I would really like to change, so let's talk about it. As a whole, I really love this cosplay. I adore the sword and the backpack. I would say those are my favorite parts of it. The belt and the little rope is great, and the dress in itself is not bad by any means. But it was a really difficult material to work with, as it was made from a tablecloth instead of like actual clothing fabric. I love the texture of it. I love the way the dress looks, but it made it sit really weird, and it made it very difficult to work with. And I get the sense, because it loves to fray, I fear that it won't last very long. I think that I could probably get maybe a con or two out of it, a photo shoot, and then she's probably gonna go down. I love the material that it's made out of in terms of how it looks. Just in the future, I won't make an Arrietty dress out of a stripy red tablecloth again. We live and we learn. When the time comes to remake the dress, I'll just use a better material, like a bed sheet, instead of a tablecloth, and I think that it'll serve me a lot better. But as it is, I don't think it looks bad at all. It definitely came out a lot shorter than I was expecting, and while it does look pretty much the same length as her dress in the movie, I got long legs, and I was a little bit worried about flashing my camera person while we were taking the reveal footage. But she's cute. I love her. This was a really easy project that I was able to take my time with. I was able to work on it off and on over the course of a month and a half, I think. It was really nice to not have the deadline and stress of it being a competition piece. Just being able to take my time and enjoy the process was really nice, and I need to do more projects like that. I'm sorry I keep looking off to the side. That's where the cosplay is folded up right now. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun. While I do work well under pressure in terms of sewing, this leisurely build was well deserved, and I think I want to do more of that in the future. Thank you so much for watching and for sticking around if you've made it this far. I hope you enjoyed the build, and if you're interested in other builds, this is not the only build I have on my channel, and it's not the only Ghibli build I have on this channel. There's more than one. If you liked the video, if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing, because I generally get into all kinds of mayhem. And I will see you next time, alright? Goodbye.
Disgusting!
They tried to put me on the cover of Vogue, but my legs were too long. Every day is like day. Every day is like day. I want to see my little boy.
Here he comes.
I want to see my little boy.
Here he comes.
I want to see my little boy.
Good morning.
Good morning, y'all.
Good morning, y'all. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, y'all.
Hey guys, welcome to another borrower vlog. We're keeping our eye out for bread, buttons, and something to sharpen my new sword with. Welcome back to my ASMR.
I'm gonna kill you, actually.
Today we're going borrowing. Welcome back to another day in the wild. Today we're looking at this spider web.
I've made a monster. Hey guys, I'm
These
so
little
sorry.
guys right here worked very hard to make his web. When it's snowy, I set up my tripod right here and I film TikToks against this tree.
Nice.
Well, if we only had more crime here, they wouldn't be able to close down the station.
Yes, but there's never any crime in Moomin Valley.
Unless we commit some, I guess.
What?
Let's go and fill Moomin Valley with crime. Come on!